Hello there guys, welcome to this week's Rivals. We're on Legoland. It is, I can't remember what it's called like Speed Champions Finale or something. It's the one that's the same as the Goliath track, but they've named it something different. I'm not sure why. I've had a crack at it already in a couple of different cars and I'm doing completely shit, like absolutely terrible. But I'm going to give it another go. So, Lego Speed Champions. And we are on road racing. It's the second one from the end. So Lego Speed Champions Finale, that's the one. We're on S2 and I'm going up against JCS Photo. I'm 5 seconds behind, but that lap there on a 5 seconds down, that was my second lap. That was a flying start. Whereas JCS Photo is on a standing start and I was absolutely miles in front for most of the race, and then he caught me up. I've tried a few different cars and I'm struggling to handle them. I really do struggle on S2 class, so I'm going over to the Maserati because I think the Maserati is much better handling than like the Vulcan or the Ferrari F40 and what have you. I tend to use this car quite often when I'm putting down a blueprint, so let's see how it goes. Right, I'll update you on my travel. So yeah, I do travel on Saturday, so only a few days away, so it's been a bit hectic this week, which is why I haven't uploaded any videos. Tomorrow, I've got to go for a coronavirus test, so as long as that's all clear, I can travel. I'm not allowed to travel without that test. But, right, the test, we've got to drive to this clinic with our face masks on in the car, and we have to, we don't get out of the car, it's like a drive-through test. And you pull up at the thing, like ordering your McDonald's, and then you have to open your window and lower your face mask to expose your nose, but not your mouth. Right? They've given us very specific instructions, and then someone will poke something up your nose to do the test. Then you have to put your face mask back up, close your window, and drive away. You're not allowed to get out of the car or anything like that. And then within a couple of days we'll get the results. So yeah, we're going for a drive-through test tomorrow morning for COVID. And as long as that gives us the all clear, we can then, well not we, Carol's not coming, I can then travel on Saturday. So right, here's the other thing, I didn't tell you this previously. Shit! Okay, let's start again. Right, I didn't tell you this previously, but there are no flights out of Bogota, which is where I live, the capital of Colombia, to Europe. So all of those flights have been cancelled. And I live in Bogota and I am going to fly from Bogota. So I'm not allowed to fly to Europe. So to get around this, there is a little bit of a loophole. What my plane is doing is driving. It's not driving anywhere. It's flying from Bogota and it's landing in Cartagena, which is on the north coast of Colombia in the Caribbean. And it stops there for just a couple of minutes. No one gets on, no one gets off. There's no refueling or anything like that. And then we take off again. I mean, we don't even need to stop. We could just slow down. As long as we touch tarmac, we're fine. We take off from Cartagena and then we fly to Holland. Now, you're not allowed to fly from Bogota to Holland, but you are allowed to fly from Cartagena to Holland. So yeah, that is completely stupid, absolutely ridiculous. But in order for our flight to be permitted, we do have to touch the tarmac in Cartagena before we leave Colombia. How dumb is that? Oh, shit, pay no attention. It's absolutely stupid, but that's the way it is. So I've got 12-hour flight to Holland, 10-hour wait in Holland, and then about an hour and a half to get to London. And then because I arrive at London quite late at night, I've got to get a hotel, and I've got to stay in London till the next day. I have been emailing the consulate in London to try and get an interview the next morning, which would be the Monday, but unfortunately they haven't replied to my emails yet, so I'm kind of hoping they do, because I want to get that sorted. What would be brilliant would be to arrive in London on the... I leave here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. I arrive in London at on the Sunday. My plane lands at 9 PM, so it's quite a long travel. And then I'm going to get a hotel in London, and then hopefully on Monday morning, I can go straight to the consulate and get an interview and sort out my visa. That's what I hope. If I can get one on Tuesday, because I think they only do visas on Tuesday. If it's on Tuesday, then I'll just get a hotel for a couple of nights, rather than going up to where my mum lives, near Coventry, and then having to travel back and forth. It just makes a lot more sense to stay in London for a couple of nights, don't it? So yeah, that's my plan. I'm not looking forward to my 10 hours in in Amsterdam airport. I can't leave the airport or anything, so that's a bit shit. I like Amsterdam, it's a nice place, been there quite a few times. So yeah, I can't go out into the city because of COVID restrictions. I've just got to stay in the airport. So I've got to just sit there for 10 hours being bored. I've downloaded a load of audio books and different bits and bobs to listen to while I'm there and while I'm on the plane. So, it's quite a long track. But isn't that dumb, the stop off in Cartagena, just so that we're allowed to fly to Europe, because you're not allowed to fly from Bogota to Europe? That's so stupid, it really is. So yeah, my original flight from Bogota to London for £250, what a bargain, so I bought it nice and early. That one was cancelled. My next flight was cancelled, which was from Bogota to Holland to London. That one was cancelled before I even bought it. They sold me a flight that was already cancelled. So that was then changed to one that was Bogota, Holland, London. That one was cancelled. And that one's now been changed to Bogota, Cartagena for just a minute, just to touch the wheels, and then to Holland, then to London. So I've had 3 flights cancelled so far. I'm on the 4th one. Hopefully this one will go ahead. So if this gets cancelled, I'll fly in a few days, and if this gets cancelled and have to replace it with another one, to be able to leave this country in just a few days' time will cost a fucking fortune. It's like the flight that I now have it's £860, I think, whereas my original flight, because I booked it in advance, was only £250. So it's really annoying that I booked in advance, my flight gets cancelled, but they don't say to you, you had a flight from Colombia to England. It's been cancelled, so here's a voucher for another flight from Colombia to England that you can redeem against another flight at a later date. That'd be good. They don't do that. They say, here's a voucher for 250 quid for your flight that was cancelled. Would you like to book another one? Here's another flight, just the same as the one you had, but it's £800. It's just stupid. So yeah, that's my current situation. So all being well tomorrow with the COVID test, we will. I'll be flying on Saturday. And yesterday we actually left the apartment for only the 4th time since March. So we went to a restaurant because yesterday was the first of our 2 anniversaries. We got married twice. We got married on the 5th of October. So that was our yesterday anniversary, 3 years ago, 5th of October, and that was kind of like just in like an official office place. It was a bit of a shit wedding, to be honest, which was for getting the visa and all of the legal documentation and everything, because we needed to get that sorted. And then we had like a proper wedding ceremony with a party and everything on the 7th. So there was 2 weddings. So it was our anniversary yesterday, and it's also our anniversary tomorrow. Quite exciting. Thankfully, I am here for those dates, whereas last year, I think it was last year or the year before, I wasn't. I booked my flight to England in advance and never realised that I was actually there without Carol, by myself, and missed our anniversary. So it's not that much of a big deal. Yeah, but this we'll do something tomorrow. I'm not sure what. Obviously, we've got to be careful with what we do because of COVID. I cannot, risk putting myself in a situation where I could possibly pick up something and then not get my flights, or even worse, get my flight and then take the virus to my mum's house. That would be even worse. So I've got to be careful over the next few days. And also on my flight, and also going through London and all the rest of everything that I've got to do in public areas that I shouldn't be doing. Unfortunately, it is unavoidable. Although, to be honest, the only reason all of this is happening, the only reason I'm going to England, is because there's a little bit of stupid red tape about me getting my visa, which means I can't get my visa. It's totally stupid. I'm married to a Colombian citizen. I live here. It's not like I'm not an illegal immigrant or anything. I should be able to just sort my visa out here, no problem. But there are some issues with it, and those issues will not be solved before my visa expires. And I can't be in this country without my visa, so I've got to go. I've got to leave the country, go to England, and sort out a replacement visa. But I shouldn't really be doing this travel at all. Right, let's try one more time then, with this this flying start advantage again. I was expecting to be ahead of him on that last one, but it didn't happen, did it? I'll be a bit more focused on this one, see if we can do something a little bit better. He says as he goes into the desert and spins out. I might find the last battery thing. Right, fuck that then. Right, that's the end. I'm going to quit. How far off am I? I don't think I did as good as last time. So I was about 5 seconds down. Let's see what I am now. Might get a spin? Probably not, because we only did like, a couple of laps, didn't we? But I'm just curious to see whether or not I've improved on my time. Oh, we do get a spin.
Here in the now, we live above the shadows.
Be something good. Oh, there isn't anything good.
We are beautifully created.
That's not too bad. That's a fair amount of money for a blue. Right, so... Oh, even worse. So, I've lost another 4 seconds on that lap I just did. That's shocking. How did I do that? But I'm not very good at S2 class, so I'm not going to try it again. This is not one for me. I really struggle with the S2 class cars. And I end up picking one that's really good handling, like this one, but it's not quite as quick. But I can't handle the ones that are quick. So I'm done. But before I go, for those people who are not aware of it yet, let me just get out of here, no thanks. The Xbox Hall of Fame. They do have a track which is around Horizon Festival. It's a really short circuit, it takes about 30 seconds or so. But yeah, if you manage to win that and post the best time on this month's Rivals, then you can get on the Xbox Hall of Fame. You can win an Xbox Series X amongst other things. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for a year as well, that's another thing that's in there. So it is, if you haven't seen it already, it's in Rivals, so go over to here. And it's in monthly Rivals, and it is this one, Xbox Hall of Fame. You have to do it in the 2018 Senna. It's way too competitive for me to compete, but there's also quite a few other ways that you can get into the Xbox Hall of Fame. So if you haven't seen that, go over, go over to Xbox's website and have a look. Because there's stuff like playing Game Pass games, how many achievements you've made over the past 5 years or so, and all different things. So there's lots of different ways that you can compete in this, and you will be competing against other people from your region, wherever that might be, so whatever country you're in. Now I thought that's pretty good for me, because I'm in Colombia, and I imagine that, you know, I mean, I don't know anyone in this country who's got a console. They're not really popular here. So it's not really a big thing. So I was thinking I've got a lot less competition. But unfortunately, Colombia is not a region that's supported. Brazil is, and Mexico, and various other countries around Central and South America, but not Colombia. I mean, they don't support Colombia for anything. We don't get those, you know, those perks that they do. I don't get any of those things. They keep sending me messages saying, you need to claim your perks. Or whatever it's called, and then I click on the button, it says we don't support your country, which is a bit crap. Now the other thing I can't do, you know that thing they've just released where you can stream Xbox to your phone? Well, I can't do that here, and because I can't do it, this country's not supported, I've not really been thinking about it at all, so it's not an option for me. But what I didn't realise is when I travel to England on Saturday, I will be able to do that. Now, I want to use my Xbox in England, so I've bought another one which has been delivered to my mum's house in England, which I can collect while I'm there, so I can continue making a few videos while I'm there. And I've just realised I didn't need to do that at all, because I can just use my phone. But I have got another Xbox in England now. That means I've got 3. I've got an Xbox. I've got 2 Xbox Ones, because the new one in England is going to be just an Xbox One. I've got this Xbox One X. Now the other thing I was going to do as well is buy the next up capture card. I've got a HD60S, I think, or an HD60, I'm not sure, Elgato capture card, but it's got a pass-through of only 1080p. So the next one up, the HD60S Plus, or the one above the next one, I think it actually is, it's 2 up from mine, that's got a 4K pass-through. So I'm thinking if I buy that when I'm in England, I can do some recording capture in England while I'm there, so it means there's not a big gap in my videos, and then I bring that one back here, and I've got like the pass-through supports my decent TV, which will be good because I'm actually looking at my TV with a lower resolution than it should have because the pass-through is only 1080p. Then I was thinking, the chances are when the Xbox Series X comes out, which now isn't very far away, it's only like a month away, isn't it? They'll probably have capture and share options, which means I don't need a capture card at all. So it's going to be a little bit stupid if I go and buy a capture card in England, barely use it at all, come back over here to Colombia, buy an Xbox Series X and don't need my capture card. So I'm going to hold off on that. I tend to buy things and then not need them. But I do have waiting for me in England an Elite controller, the other Xbox that I bought, and my headphones that I love, those Cocoon headphones, they're in England waiting for me. So I've got various bits and bobs to pick up. I'm quite excited about those. I'm also looking forward to going and seeing John because obviously he's got that Fanatec rig. He's got the chair, the steering wheel and everything, and he's upgraded his pedals as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how I get on that compared to how I'm doing on this. So I'm very interested to see how my time trial times on various tracks on F1 2020 are on his rig compared to mine. So that'll be fun. But it is a little bit different anyway because he's on PlayStation and I'm on Xbox. Now, if you look at the leaderboards, the actual times at the top of the leaderboards are a little bit faster all the way across the board on PlayStation compared to Xbox. Now, I would assume that the games do play very slightly differently. They're not going to be identical, are they? I don't think that those times come down to PlayStation players being faster. I think they come down to the games not being completely identical and they're getting slightly faster times. So that's going to be a factor. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to trying that wheel anyway. It looks bloody awesome. And I need to decide whether or not I'd like to upgrade mine. I mean, I've got this wheel. My what is it? It's the Logitech G920. I've got my old Spider wheel, but I haven't got a rig for that one. But I was thinking if I get a new rig and I keep this one as it is, then I've got two wheels where me and we could play together. Carol and I could both play on racing wheels, which would be pretty good. I'd like that. Whereas at the moment we can't really do that because I haven't got a stand for the other one. But yeah, I would like to get a better chair as opposed to this chair, which is actually from the patio furniture from the terrace. It's a bit crap, really. It doesn't really work very well. And every time I sit down, I'm in a slightly different position, which adjusts everything, don't it? You want everything to be exactly the same every time. But anyway, guys, there we go. That's this week's Rivals. Good luck with it. I'm not going to come back in and do that again because I do travel in just a few days. It is a very hectic week for me. And obviously also we've got the wedding anniversary celebrations and different bits and bobs as well. So there's quite a lot going on this week, and there is stuff that I've got to do on my business and different bits and bobs before I leave, and quite a lot of preparation to get sorted. And then I've got my ridiculously long travel. I have no idea when I'll reach my final destination. Could be Tuesday, could be later. If I get that interview with a consulate in London on Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm certainly going to stay in London and just get a hotel for those days. So yeah, this travel could end up being quite expensive. And on top of this as well, I didn't register my previous visa, and I should have done. You've got 15 days to register your visa, and if you don't do that, there is a fine that is several $1,000s, which I didn't know about any of this. When I got my visa previously, it was a little bit unscheduled, a bit rushed, and when I left the office, he gave me a form saying this is really important, you've got to read it. I read it as I was going back to my train, and it told me how to do everything I'd just done. So I kind of thought, oh, he's given me the wrong form, and I threw it away and didn't think anything else of it. But I don't know whether it was kind of like how to get this visa that I'd just got, steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And then at the bottom it said, right, now you've got to register it. But I started reading it, it was telling me a load of stuff I'd already done, so I just assumed it was the wrong form. So I'm kind of hoping that they'll let me off with that. But if they don't let me off with it, it is a fine that's several $1,000s, so that would be a bit shit. And there's a potential ban as well. There is the possibility, it's only a small possibility, but I could get banned from being in Colombia for 3 times the amount of time I've been here without the correct documentation. That's 3 years. So I could get banned for 9 years. That would be an absolute disaster. It's like Carol and I would have to move house if that happens, We just have to live somewhere else for the next decade. But I think it'll be all right. I have faith. I have faith in my abilities to chat to this guy in the consulate and manipulate him with lots of hypnotic language and subliminal messages to get him to waiver the fine and the ban. I think I'll be able to do that. And that's what happened last time. I turned up, no appointment. I was on the wrong day, and I just talked for a while, used very persuasive language. And he fitted me in between people and issued me my visa right there and then. So that wasn't supposed to happen. So I walked in, walked out a few hours later, and I had my visa. But yeah, he initially said, no, we can't do anything. We can't see you. You've turned up without an interview. We don't deal with visas today. It's only on Tuesday, so there's nothing we can do. And then I thought, I'm going to have to be a little bit persuasive here. So yeah, I used to, obviously, I know hypnotic language, and I know a lot of conversational hypnosis language, so I had to pile a lot of that on. And after a big conversation, I managed to convince him to squeeze me in, and I did get my visa. But hopefully I can do that again and get things sorted on Monday. But we'll see how it goes. Whilst I'm there as well, I want to change my Apple Watch. It is broken. It doesn't work. It doesn't work because the battery went flat for too long because I hadn't wore it for a while, and when I tried to charge it, it won't charge at all. This is a known problem with the Apple Watch, and they do just exchange them. But the last time I went back to England, the iPhone 12 had just come out, and I went in to change my watch, and there was a queue of like 4 hours or something, could have even been longer than that, for people waiting to buy the iPhone 12. So they wouldn't see me without me getting to the end of this queue, and that would have meant I would miss my train, so I couldn't do that. So they won't change it in Colombia. So I thought, right, next time I go back, I'll take it and I'll give it another crack, see if they'll swap it. But it's the Series 1. I bought this watch when it was very first released, bloody ages ago. So, I mean, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know whether they'd still change it, because it's really old now. But I did look online, and they said this is a recognised problem, and they do change them. So that would be pretty good. They have changed it previously. You know, the crown became really stiff, and then after a while, this little rubber O-ring came out of the crown, which, I mean, makes me assume it's not waterproof anymore. But I took it into the shop and showed it to them, and they just immediately gave me a brand new one. And that was like, I think that was 2 years after me buying it. So they are really, really good customer service. I had it for, you know, you get your 1 year warranty as standard on an Apple product. I had it for 2 years. I took it back in and they gave me a brand new one, which is pretty fucking amazing. So now it's been several years. I've got no idea how long. I can't remember when the watch came out, but it's been quite a few years. But I'm going to take it in. I'm going to say, look, it doesn't charge at all. You know, what can you do about it? And either they might say we'll fix it, they might say we'll fix it for a price, or they'll say, here you go, here's a new one, which is what I'm hoping. But if they do say that, I'm going to say, well, can I have a new one instead, like a Series 6, and I'll give you the difference and an upgrade. So we'll see. If I get to do that, that'd be good. Anyway, I'll keep you guys updated on what happens with my my travel, etc. But I will say, don't expect me to be uploading many videos over the next couple of weeks, because this is going to be a little bit hectic. And also, of course, I'm not going to have a steering wheel in England either. So I'm going to be avoiding like my playthrough on F1 2020 on my team. That might have to wait for a while. And also my Project Cars 3, that's probably going to be on hold until I get back to Colombia. But we'll see. We will see. But I've got an Xbox there. I'm taking my capture card there. I've got a decent controller there as well waiting for me. So I am going to be able to continue making some videos. But as I say, the channel is going to slow down for a while. But I'll keep you updated on what happens. Right, once I've got my results, hang on. Right, there's a symptom. Once I've got my results back from my drive-through coronavirus test, where I just have to very quickly expose my nose through the car window, all sounds a bit dicey to me. Once I've got my results back and I know whether or not I'm definitely going to England, I'll let you know. But if that result comes back and it's positive and I can't fly, oh, God knows what I'm going to do, because I won't have a visa anymore. I'm going to have a chat with the embassy and try and get an extension or something. but we'll see. I'll have to see. We'll cross that bridge if we come to it. Right, see you all soon, guys. Good luck on the rivals. As I say, I'm not coming back into this one. It's an S2 and I'm shit on S2. I might go back on the Kraken and then have another go on that because I was so close on Mad Pixel Pusher, and I would very much like to give it another go and try and beat him. I don't know if he's put down a faster time or not, but I would like to have another crack at that. But if you haven't already, check out the Xbox Hall of Fame. It isn't just this. Go over to their website because there are loads of ways that you can compete in this. And there are some pretty good prizes, obviously. The Xbox Series X, the Game Pass. But aside of all of that, your name goes down in history as as part of the Xbox Hall of Fame, which would be pretty damn cool, wouldn't it? I'd quite like one of you guys from the club to be in there. You've got a chance. Give it a crack. See what you can do. Right, see you next time, guys. I am going to make myself some fresh coffee. Bye-bye.